We're joined by Professor Rob Parker.
What's happening? Good morning.
Wow.
Professor.
USC professor.
Yes,
You know
USC
what?
Professor Rob Parker.
Online college.
Would you stop? I am excited. I can't wait to start.
We're very proud
You
of
know,
you, Rob.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. I really am.
Can't wait to start.
Humble brag.
I'm humble about it. I don't want to get crazy. It's just my first class ever. So
Shaping the future, Rob Parker.
Yes.
Rob, did last night change your opinion of Jay Cutler?
it really didn't. I know Jay Cutler can play. He's always gotten kind of a bad rap. Skip, we've talked about Jay Cutler for years, and he comes off with this his body language and just the way he deals with people. He always comes off like he doesn't care or it doesn't matter. So whenever things go bad, people can easily pile on him. But we know he can play. I've seen him play at a high level, so it's not totally surprising. But last night was more about that ugly Patriots defense that didn't go away.
Oh,
that
here
ugly
we go.
Patriots defense that is going to rear its head some point during the end of the season, the playoffs, and everybody will remember.
You hope.
No, I don't hope. I saw it last night.
What
Because
was
Jay
your stat
Cutler.
yesterday for the last 5 games, the Patriots defense had been number
Since
one.
week 5.
Since week 5, they've been number 1 in the NFL in points allowed. Just for the
12
record.
points a game.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
But we remember the first 5 weeks. All I'm saying is that they didn't go anywhere. Those players are still on that team. And I'll give Jay Cutler credit. He played well last night. But that Patriots defense, just remember, it's still there, and it's going to rear its head, and this will be the demise, that and Tom Brady, of the Patriots.
So
Had to get that in.
Get it in.
Well,
We're going to talk about Tom Brady.
okay.
a little bit.
Save it.
so did last night change your opinion of Cutler? I don't know how the Patriots got dragged into this, but we're talking about the Patriots on another topic, Rob. For me, it did not. All it did for me is make me even more upset because you know how immensely talented Jay Cutler is, and I do not think he fulfilled the talent that he had, the promise that his talent said he should have been. I believe Jay Cutler should have been a multiple-time Pro Bowl player. I believe he should have gotten the teams he quarterbacked for more than one playoff appearance. And this last night makes you upset because you know what he could be, what he could have been. We've seen too fewer these games and far too many of the two interceptions, the costly turnover that ends up costing his team the ball game. And to say that he hasn't had talent, they built a team around him. They had an outstanding defense. Brian Urlacher is up for the Hall of Fame. Briggs was an all-pro, multiple-time Pro Bowl player. So was Agunlie. Peanut Tillman was one of the best DBs that's ever played at taking the ball away.
Yep.
So they had talent. They had a Brandon Marshall. They got Bennett. They had Olsen. They had Matt Forte. They drafted trying to get him skill players around him.
And don't forget, they were on the cusp. They were in that NFC Championship game against Green Bay in Chicago, and he's on the stationary bike because he was hurt.
He was hurt.
And you know what? People all attacked him, and I always thought that was wrong.
Okay, what about the year after? Okay, he was hurt.
No,
that
I'm just saying in that game.
Okay, I ain't gonna tag him for that game. Okay, what about after that? And after that, what about Lovie Smith losing his job? What about Trestman losing his job? What about John Fox? Like, I'm done. I'm out. Does that mean Mike? Does that mean anything?
No, it does. I mean, there is. I told you he comes across like he doesn't care, and that's a lot of it. But I think that it's easy to pile on him because of his demeanor. He's a Vanderbilt guy. I know.
And you know what? That's fair to bring up. I'm probably not objective. I went to Vanderbilt. He went to Vanderbilt. It's the best school in America. It's even better than USC.
No, it's not. It's not better than Columbia either, or Southern Connecticut.
No, it's not even better than Savannah State.
And I did put a lot of pride on the line back in the days of the show you used to do with me occasionally, Cold Pizza, before the 06 draft. I said, this kid from Vanderbilt, I actually started talking about him when he was a junior at Vanderbilt because his senior year, he was the SEC Player of the Year. Not that easy to do.
No.
Especially when you're at Vanderbilt and you're playing Tennessee and Florida and Georgia.
Alabama,
They didn't play Alabama that year.
but they're in the SEC. You
Yes,
know
they
about
are.
it. You hate mentioning St. Nick.
I'm not going to mention him because he's about to get his in the playoffs again.
Okay.
So the point was, I went way out on the limb because I didn't think it was a limb. I just said this kid can play in the NFL and he's going to be a franchise quarterback. And his man, Mike Shanahan, regarded as one of the best offensive minds in the history of this league, traded up to take Jay Cutler with the 11th pick, 1 pick after Matt Leinart, now Fox fame, and a few picks after the 3rd overall pick, Vince Young. And Jay Cutler still afloat And the only reason I still fight to defend him occasionally, I get all your negatives are all correct. Everything you said, I don't have any issue with all of it. But in the end, so many people have viewed Jay Cutler as this pathetic bust who still somehow has a job against all odds. And he's not that.
No.
He's somewhere in the middle of that because he has been a decent starting quarterback. And I don't throw that term around lightly when it comes to starting quarterbacks because most teams are still looking for a starting quarterback. He's better than Ryan Tannehill. I just believe he is. And again, is that saying a lot? He's just...
Skip, I don't have a problem with him. I don't have a problem with him being middle of the pack, but he doesn't have middle of the pack talent. He has top 10 talent.
He does.
And the top 10 talent and him being middle of the pack is unacceptable.
Okay,
And just think about this. When he got signed with Miami, do you remember the press conference? He said his wife talked him into playing.
Yeah.
So when you hear that, like off the top, you just go, this guy doesn't even want to play.
He has the worst body language in the history of quarterbacks. I've said it a lot. And does he really care about winning a championship?
No.
No. Would it be okay if it happened? Sure, it would be. If he sort of lucked into it and it just happened. Yes. But the point is, his intangibles are not great. He is the opposite of a leader of a football team. He has franchise quarterback talent. He does not have the intangibles that go with the talent. But I'm going to point this out. Biggest stage in the sport, one of the biggest stages, is Monday Night Football. It's the solo stage that everybody focuses on. All the teams are watching, right? Jay Cutler is now 12-7 on Monday Night Football. That's pretty good. I could even say that's pretty great. He's now thrown 32 touchdown passes to only 13 interceptions on Monday Night Football. And he has beaten these quarterbacks head to head. He's beaten Tom Brady now last night, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Michael Vick, Phillip Rivers. And on Sunday Night Football, he twice has beaten Ben Roethlisberger. Once in Pittsburgh, once in Chicago. Well, that's pretty good. And I'm going to bring up that Kaepernick game because, hey, Colin Kaepernick was flying high. The 49ers are flying high, coming off a Super Bowl season followed by an NFC Championship game, narrow loss at Seattle. And they open Levi's Stadium early the next year. And Jay Cutler goes in there on a Sunday night, head-to-head against Kaepernick, and throws 4 touchdown passes to no interceptions and shocks the 49ers. Well, he's had a lot of big stage games where you say, to your point, hey, that's big time, right? These are all big-time games. Last night was, I would consider that a big-time game against a Patriot team that had been playing very well. And again, they were down some players on defense. But they've been rolling.
You trying to sew up the division. You trying to stay even with Pittsburgh to make sure that you have home because you win that game. Now you go beat Pittsburgh. Now you're in the driver's seat.
Okay, so he's 1-1 in the postseason. Not very good. And he's 74-76 in the regular season. It's just middling. He's somewhere in the middle of the pack, which is hard to find. Has he been a bust? No. No bust.
No. But I just think the thing is what's so disappointing is that you see the games like you mentioned on Sunday night, and you mentioned the game last night, and you see that and you realize what he could have been, what he should have been, given his IQ, given his football ability. And then you look back and you're like, what the hell happened? Why wasn't he any better than middle of the pack? Because he didn't have middle of the pack talent. He had top 10 talent, but somehow he landed in the middle. And that's what's unacceptable, Skip. For me, I mean, you play any length of time in the NFL. It's hard to say but not get it, your first round pick and the expectation levels. But he was the 11th pick in the draft. He's played, 12, 13 years?
12 years.
But this is what Skip just said is really it. You just said it. Does he really want to win a Super Bowl? No, you don't have that feeling like it's something that burns inside him.
Hey.
So I think when you don't have that fire.
When you have a home NFC Championship game to get to a Super Bowl against Aaron Rodgers, and you badly sprain I think it was his MCL, ACL, whatever, your knee, I know a lot of guys who would just say, I'm sorry, I'm not sitting. I'm just going to suck it up, and I'm going to drag my knee through the second half, and I'm going to try to pull this game out. And it was legitimately hurt. He was the doctors confirmed legitimate, and he tried to go a series, and he thought he was a detriment, a liability to his team.
See, I respect a player who can pull themselves out to
And
say,
he just said,
I can't play.
do it.
I don't want to do
I'm
this.
no good.
I don't want to do this to the rest of my team.
He tried to step into a throw on 3rd and 6 and threw it in the ground and said,
Would you want a guy to play if he can't play?
If he can't play,
You can't play.
I suffered a sprained MCL in the Super Bowl, and I tried to go back out there, Greek taped it up, and I just couldn't go. But the thing is, I asked Jay Cutler, does he desire success or he trying to avoid failure? Because those are two different things now.
Yeah.
I truly desire success. I wasn't trying to avoid failure. I wanted success.
I think Jay Cutler truly desires to throw touchdown passes. He does. Seriously. And he's pretty good at it. He's 30th all time in touchdown passes. That's high. 30th all time?
Yeah. It's hard to compare stats because I remember on my old show at CBS, we were looking at stats, and Kerry Collins had more passing yards than Joe Montana. We know Kerry Collins couldn't carry Joe Montana's Tic Tacs in a tackle box. So that doesn't mean anything because the numbers are so skewed now, is that we look at these quarterbacks now, you're like, well, John Elway only had one 4,000-yard passing season, and I see Kirk Cousins got 4. We see James Winston.
It's a different game now.
Exactly.
You know
So
right.
When I look at Jay and I look at the ability and I know the kind of talent that he was, and he didn't get more out of it, that's what's disappointing.
What's the difference between being frustrated with somebody who you don't expect anything from
Right.
and you know doesn't have the talent and them not playing well? But when they have the talent,
Yes.
you've seen them play at a high level and they don't reach those expectations, it hurts more.
I always think about Jay Cutler. What if he had the other team's defensive signals? He might have won something.
He'd had one Super Bowl, at least 1 or 2, Rob. How many do you think he'd had?
Might have won 2.
Really? That's too bad.
You know he